Potatoes gon' potate, taters gon' tate, and haters gon' hate. Today we're going to the Palazzo Ducale, or the Doge's Palace in Venice. So the Palazzo Ducale is a palace that was built in Venetian Gothic style and is one of the biggest landmarks of Venice in northern Italy. The Doge of Venice is the supreme authority of the former republic, and it was built in 1340 but only opened in 1424 because it needed more building and construction. And what you can find inside of the Palazzo Ducale is the Doge's apartments, the courtyard, institutional chambers, and even prisons. Tickets are a little difficult to understand, but I think if you're like part of the family, or if it's like a whole family, each person, the ticket is 19 euros for them. If you're over 65, it's 19 euros. If you're by yourself, it's 36 euros, which is a lot. But if you're a student, it's also 19 euros. So it's a little spendy, not really, but I think it's worth it. Also, the hours are Sunday through the rest of the week, Sunday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So let's go check it out. These statues that are at the staircase were given gifts from someone else and are statues of Mars and Venus. St. Mark's Basilica only became the basilica during the Napoleon era. It was the chapel of the palace beforehand. So what's cool about this statue is that all the different pieces, the head, the bust, the arms, the legs, the armor, they're all made up from different statues from different eras and different places, and they're all made up of different kinds of marble. So throughout all of this, there's offices of legislator activity, which is also the council and offices of great power, the Senate, college council, and the judicial branches of judicial power. There's also inflictions of punishment, and there were prisons in the attic as well. This place was famous for the severity of the punishments in prison that they gave. But the Doge also lived here, even though it was a small part of this area. Him and his family were housed in just one small part because of all the functions of all these rooms. This is La Scala d'Oro, or the Golden Staircase. It leads up to the Doge's apartment, and it was started in the 16th century. It gets its name from the golden and white stucco. Stucco is a style that has decorations on the wall that leave a kind of texture, and the gold is 24 karat gold. And only magistrates and important people were able to actually go on this staircase in order to get to the Doge's apartment. At the beginning of the staircase, there are two statues. To the left is Hercules slaying the Hydra, and to the right is Atlas holding up the world. So at the top of the staircase is the square atrium, or the Atro Quadrato, and it leads to the palace government and some of their most important rooms in here. This is called the Chamber of Secrets because it had been kept a secret from the public for a long time and no one ever saw this area. Torture and acts of brutality were held here by state security. This shows the Doge Rioli and the two allegorical figures, and a passing down with wisdom. Because of a large fire in 1754, a lot of these rooms were rebuilt, and a lot of these paintings and the textures were restored. This is a large canvas showing the Doge coming to the faith and dedicating himself to it. In this painting, they're receiving goods and bounties from Neptune, but this painting is also probably the last to show that Venice was seen as an allegorical state. The Doge sat in this throne here in order to make decisions with domestic and foreign people around him giving him advice for the government. And this artwork was created in order to celebrate justice and flexibility. This woman here is the figure of Venice, and she's singing for justice and peace, and her face is difficult to decipher, which is why it's not visible in the painting. This is the chamber of the Senate, where the Senate body and the Senate Republic had met. Towards the end of everything with the Doge ruling, the Senate had almost doubled in size. The designer of this ceiling was an architect and a cartographer, and the first step to creating a ceiling like this was to figure out where all the frames are going to be placed and kind of make a layout or a map of them. There are two clocks in this room, and one is a sun clock where its mechanics are hidden behind the wall. This painting shows the Lion of Venice and then the bull, which represents all the European nations, and how they're both fighting, and this is what marked the fall of Venice, fighting the European nations. The Council of Ten was created to subvert the power of Venice during the time. Within these walls, there are also secret doors that lead to other secret rooms, so they're all interconnected. There was state security and spies who would discuss things in secret in order to have their plans fold out to undermine the power of Venice. This is one of those doors that had multiple different doors and different entrances to be able to lead to other secret rooms and tunnels throughout the house. The armor was used for the production of bodyguards, and the Council of Ten were basically the ones in charge and the head of this production. This is one of the last few paintings left over from the Doge's palace because in the 15th century a fire broke out in the Doge's palace and it destroyed mostly everything, including many of the paintings that were painted within the walls. And this is a original and traditional style of how things were painted then. So the statues on the sides, the one on the left is of Adam and the one on the right is of Eve. And this specific statue of Eve is after she ate the forbidden fruit and she realized what is good and evil, and she finally found out that she's naked and that she did something wrong. Eve's attitude here is coy and shy, while Adam's attitude is heroic, which is supposed to be similar to Apollo's. The little hole on the side of the door was used to pass food into the prisoner.